Hey everybody, welcome back in the shed. I am Troy Shaw, and with me again is Dave Griffiths. What's up, Dave?
How's it going, Troy? It's a nice day today. It's not 100 degrees in the shed. It's not 85 degrees in the shed.
The sun isn't a good spot tonight. It's not beating down over that house like it usually is. But let's get on with the show, man. We have a true legend with us this evening. Mr. Classie Ballou. How are you doing, Classie?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. He's in the shed.
Darn fine. I'm in the shed.
All right, thanks for coming, Classie. This is really kind of an honor. I mean, you're a rock and roll legend, one of the true, you know, what you can call guys that were around from the beginning. So, take it away, Troy.
Thank you.
Yeah, and let's start from the beginning. Tell us that story, how you got your first guitar. I thought that was I've heard it before, but I think our audience should hear that story. It's
okay.
A pretty good one.
Yeah, well, my father he used to own 45 acres of land. I kind of started from the beginning, and
this was where?
This little we live a little. I'm from Louisiana, a little town called Elton, Louisiana, and his farm was about 5 miles from Elton. And we was the only black in that area. Was surrounded with Germans and Czechoslovakians, whatever. White.
Bunch of white people.
Cajun, yeah, Cajun, help me. And we was the only one in that area. And my father, he was a hard-working man. He raised everything except snakes. He had guineas, he had ducks, he had mules, he had horses, he had cows. He had a garden. He had cucumbers. He had okra. He had tomatoes. He
can't make a guitar out of okra last time I checked.
No. Rice and cotton. He did it all by himself. So, and we had he had mules and horses, and we had a mare. Her name was Topsy. And back then, you know, we didn't have no post office, so they had a set of mailbox about 3 or 4 miles from. In other words, they had about 20. You know, with all the neighbors.
A community mailbox.
Right, a community mailbox. Yeah, right. And they would send, and he would send me to school though. Yeah. And we had that mare every morning to catch the bus, because back then the bus wouldn't pass but that run route, just like the mailman would pass. In other words, they wouldn't come to
there was one stop for the bus and
right,
one stop for
that's
the
right.
mail, yeah.
Just like the mailman too, they wouldn't come deliver your mail to your house. So to make a long story short, so I told him, I said, Daddy, I said, next door, the guy the farmer, his name was Clyde Blessington. He had a farm. We call him Mr. Clyde. You know, my dad's name was Classie Ballou. So, but he had, in fact, that guy kind of looked like you. His name was Truman. He was bald-headed, and he was lazy.
And good-looking.
and he had an acoustic guitar. His daddy would work like a slave. He just sit underneath the pecan tree, just strum the guitar all day long and every day. He was lazy. He would do nothing. So,
unlike Dave.
Yeah.
Dave is a hardworking man.
I heard that. So anyhow, so I had an uncle that played accordion by himself, just like we sitting in this little shack here. And they would do pity pat game back in the days, you know. Well, maybe this Saturday would be at your house, next Saturday be at somebody else's house. And they do big gumbos and everything. And my uncle, he would play by himself. And back then, he had me playing the scrub board with him.
The washing board. Right?
Washing board, yeah. And you know, back then, well, you know, in Zydeco, they got them steel. Back then, they didn't have them. It was glass.
Yeah, they used thimbles on their hands, and they would.
No, but I had just two little teaspoons.
Oh, teaspoons.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was, and he had me to sit just like you. He played accordion. And I'm talking you gobble, whatever he be talking Creole. So to make a long story short, so he looked at me, he was real cruel. He said, Classie! I said, yeah. Uncle said, you know one thing, you boy? I said, yeah. He said, I bet you can play a guitar, yeah. I said, man, I don't know about no guitar. He said, tell your daddy to buy you a guitar. Because he said, you got good rhythm and good timing. Yeah, he said, I bet you'll be a good little guitar player. So I said, okay then. So I told Dad, I said, Uncle Lee tells if you to buy me a guitar. So Daddy said, the next crop I sell, He said, you know, if I do good, I will buy you a guitar. So like I said, by me going back and forth to school, so he would hit that mare one time. She would know when to come wait for me, and I hit her back, and he stood at the gate and wait for her, take her back to the shed.
Nice.
Yeah, he had a train. So anyhow, so to make a long story short, so when I got off the bus one evening, I saw that big old long card box across all the mailboxes. But I wasn't paying no attention, and I saw it had Clyde, but I'm thinking it was for the neighbor, somebody he had ordered. Then I look again, it said Clyde Ballou because his name was Blessington.
Yeah.
So I said, this box is for Daddy. And I still didn't know what it was.
But you carried it back.
So yeah, I got on the horse seat, and so he always wait for me. He knew exactly what time I was gonna get off that bus, and he always be at the gate waiting for me. When he hit her one time, she'd be there waiting on me. So to make a long story short, so as I was approaching the gate, but from here to that pecan tree, he got to laughing and smiling. See, he knew what it was. I said, "What is it?"
But you didn't have a clue what it was.
I didn't have a clue. I didn't have no idea, no whatever. So,
Daddy ordered you a guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
Sears and Roebuck or something, right?
So I said, "Daddy, what's in that box?" He said, "Get off the horse seat." He said, "Take that box in the house." And he took it to the shed. He said, "I'm gonna be there in a minute." He took a knife, opened it up. I said, "Daddy, that's a guitar." He said, "That's for you." He said, "You know your." I said, "Oh, Daddy, thank you, man." I was so happy. So then the little lazy guy next door, so I said, "Truman," I said, "Man, I got a guitar." I said, "Could you teach me how to tune it and show me some chords?" He said, "Okay, Classie." Yeah, man. So that's how I
Was it an acoustic?
Yeah, it was a little cheap guitar, man.
Yeah.
You know, back then maybe about $5 or $10. It was a little Stella. You remember the little Stella?
Stellas.
Yeah, little Stella. I can never forget that. So Truman the one taught me the chords, and then later on.
How old were you when you got that?
Ooh, when I got that guitar, I was about 14 or 15. And then when I got about 16 or something, Daddy decided to sell his ranch, and he bought a brand new lot in Lake Charles.
Which you still own today, don't you?
Yeah, because I'm an only child.
Okay.
And my mother died in '82, and Daddy died in '89. He built that house brand new in '52. But wait a minute, I got to tell you another story how I got my name. It's a white lady gave me my name. My mother got pregnant, and her name was Miss Dan Bullitt. Like I said, we was the only black in that area, and they were pure Cajun white, and they lived about 3 or 4 miles from my house. And her and my mother was tight. My mother's name was Beatrice. So my mother told her, she said, "I'm pregnant." She said, "Really?" She said, "If I get a boy, what you think I should call him?" She said, "Call him Classie."
That's your Christian name?
That was my name.
Wow.
That's on birth certificate and driving license. Okay, when after I got 10, she got pregnant again. She said, "I wish I have a girl." She said, "If I have a girl," she went back to the old lady again. She said, "What you think called?" She said, "Call her Minnie Pearl." You know, back then, we didn't have no TV. You had a little old radio, like kind of like your little internet thing.
She was on there before she was on Hee Haw. She was on the radio.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And my mother used to listen to her on the radio because she's
was the Hayride.
Yeah,
she was on.
So the most beautiful baby, because like my daddy was like a white man, just like you. His whole family. It was about 18 of them. His sisters, they all looked like white girls. My mother was dark like this. Yeah, she was a tall, but they fell in love. You know, she was our family. They was half dark, and and she died when she was 6 months old. I was 10 years old back then. Unfortunately, because you know we didn't have this new modern technology.
She got sick.
She got a high fever, uncontrollable. You know, because they used to put pecan leaves and all of that, and you know, a few little aspirin, and she died, man. Her name was Minnie Pearl.
Oh wow,
the most beautiful baby. Yeah.
Well, Classie, you know, you harken back to the beginnings of rock and roll. I mean, really, when you started playing. I mean, I understand you made your bones in Louisiana in the '50s. Mm-hmm. This is the time of Fats Domino, Gabe Mouth Brown, Little Richard.
Right.
And, you know, Louisiana Hayride, where Elvis kind of first made his self-known. What do you want to tell us about that time? I mean...
well, that time I was 29 and 30 in the waist and just starting off. And I used to hold a guitar way down here, you know. Now I done got fat now. I got to put it on my big stomach now.
You were playing, like, at the beginning, you were playing more Zydeco than blues,
No,
right?
no. I didn't even know what Zydeco was.
Oh, really? Because
I'm the one who was picked to play. I had a hot band. I'm the one who was picked to play with Buzu Chavez. You know, he the one
Yeah.
He had a guy named Eddie Schuler. He had a record company and studio.
Buzu's Zydeco.
Yeah, well, he the one that really started Zydeco.
Yeah.
And Eddie Schuler, he had a little record company called Gold Band Records. So he came up to me and said, man, he said, Buzu was an old country guy, real Creole, man. Yeah. Hey, you do what I said, do ya? That's what he's telling his band. So his band said, man, hey, I pay you. You do what I say do, because he was real Creole. But anyhow, to make a long story short, so Eddie Schuler came to me and said, man, you got, because I was the Elvis Presley of Michael Jackson back then in Lake Charles. Still is, hee. But in Waco.
So that's where he got it from. All right, anyways.
I'm going to get off track. I got to say this before I go any further with my interview. Since I've been on earth, the two greatest entertainers on earth for me was Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson. When you say Elvis, you jump. Those people were special, man. I don't care what nobody say.
I don't think anyone would argue
because
with
Elvis wasn't shaking that leg. Yeah, nothing but a hound dog. And Michael, he was a one-man band.
But there were some college guys back in the day who told you a story at some point, and they had to choose between Elvis and you.
Right.
And they chose you to play at their college over Elvis.
I was on a Chelsea Street pub sucker. Y'all remember Chelsea Street pub?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just me and my youngest son. He been with me for 30 years, Cedric. In fact, he was the bass player with Rockin' Sydney. Don't mess with my Toot Toot. You remember Rockin' Sydney?
Yeah.
And Toot Toot made it on a country chart, and they was on a Porter Wagner show back then in the 80s.
Dolly and all
They used
that.
to open up for Dolly Parton, the Judge.
Go, don't mess with my
Reba,
Toot.
Reba McEntire, and what's the two? The mother and daughter.
That was the Judds.
The Judge, They used to, because it made it on a country chart.
Yeah.
So anyhow, to make a long story short, he called me and said, Daddy, man, he said, because Rockin' Sydney had a big old shed. He had his bus parked in one area and his limo together, and he had a studio. He had all that together. So he bought him a radio station, and man, he got to making money. So he parked that bus, and he let that bus and that limo stay parked. And then y'all familiar with Lake Charles and Suffolk, Louisiana? You know,
I've been to Lake Charles or through Lake Charles many times.
Yeah, well,
that's where the casino is.
Well, anyhow, it's on I-10. Well, you know that casino right by that big old bridge, Isle of Capri?
Yeah.
I played that 10 years in a row when it first opened. I was in Michael Jackson at the Isle of Capri for 10 years in a row. Yeah. Okay, I'm jumping the gun. So Rockin' Sydney, he stopped touring. So Cedric said, Daddy, man, he said, I need a job, man. And so I called him to, y'all remember Tony Guidros?
Nope.
A drummer. He was from Louisiana. He was good. I had a hot day. You remember Buddha's back then on Valley Mills? Buddha was like the Las Vegas back then.
That was before my time.
What was the name of it? Oh, that before y'all time. But anyhow, and what about Charlie's Corner?
Y'all
remember that? Oh, yeah.
Sorry, man, I've only been here for 20
but anyhow,
years.
I was a Michael Jackson, and we was wearing tuxedos back then. And, But anyhow, I'm jumping the gun. So Cedric said, Daddy, I need a job, man. So I had a white boy. He was from Oklahoma, and I said, man, and he was a bass player too. He said, Classie Ballou. He said, 05, man. So he played. I said, I tell you what, I'm gonna put you on keyboard. But I said, I gotta put my son on bass. And there was Bill Romine.
And Cedric's still playing bass right now, right?
He been with Daddy for 30 years. See, he's smart. Awesome. He know Daddy always work. Yeah. We became the #1 duo for Chelsea, man, we was going everywhere.
You and your son?
Oh yeah, all the way up to Santa Fe, New Mexico, Albuquerque, all West Texas, Corpus Christi, Victoria, and they had 3 in Louisiana, 1 in Shreveport, 1 in Alexandria, 1 in Monroe. We'll make them all, and they had 1 in Beaumont. So the one in Beaumont, so we had a drum machine back then. He do that Prince, you know, us Prince was hot, you know, Purple Rain, oh, and that ZZ Top, he eased that up, you know, Cedric, you know, and we was doing all that kind of stuff, and I done my old Fats Diamond, you know, the old as, you know, and the country, you're cheating hard. Amarillo by morning, but anyhow, so they had a long table right next to the bandstand, about 30 guys. So I'm looking at this, I said, oh, this is a big birthday party, and one of them came up to me, and he said, Mr. Ballou, we want to talk to you. He said, what time you take a break? Well, I said, we play 45 and take 15, you know. He said, okay, when you take your break, he said, come by the table, we want to talk to you. So I'm thinking this was a gig. I said, oh, this could be a good fraternity gig. I used to play I was the Michael Jackson of LSU and Lamar. It was colleges back then. You know, Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I've seen Animal House. I know about Otis Day and the Nights.
Right. so I'm thinking this was gonna be a gig. He said, man, he said, we thought you was dead. I said, what you talking about? He said, Classie, he said, you don't remember us? I said, no, man. I said, y'all kind of look familiar. He said, man, you used to play fraternity parties at Lamar. You know, Lamar is in Beaumont.
Yeah, sure.
And they had some kids there from Baton Rouge too that graduated from LSU. So he said, we're having a big reunion. And you know, Elvis Presley used to play in Beaumont. I saw the bio. He had a raggedy Cadillac with a big old bass tied on top of his Cadillac, and he put the drums in the trunk. You know, it wasn't but his 3 pieces, just him and his bass player and whatever else he had. So to make a long story short, so he said, man, we thought you were dead. I said, really? He said, we come here, man, to tell you that we made a choice between you and Elvis Presley to play one of our big fraternity parties. See, you remember that? He said, you remember that? In fact, they had an auditorium. I can't think of the auditorium in Beaumont. It's kind of like a convention center.
Sure.
I can't, but anyhow, because it was a big one. They had
the biggest place in Beaumont.
Yeah, they had about 2,000 kids to play that, and they said we had a vote. We had a voting on you. They said some of them wanted Elvis Presley, and some of them wanted Classie Ballou. So he said, we had a big meeting, we took a vote on it. He said, who you think we pick? Oh, I said, shit, you know y'all pick Evelyn. He said, no, we pick you. I said, what? I said, he. He said the majority voted. They said, we want Classie Ballou. We don't want no Elvis Presley. So I said, man, this is an honor to me. Yeah. So anyhow, but I mean, get back to what I was saying. Since I've been on earth, don't get me wrong, Frank Sinatra, Paul McCartney, the Beatles, and Elephant. I can go on, all of them broke records. But it wasn't nobody like Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson. When you say Elvis, you jump. When you say Michael, you jump. Those two people were special, man, since I've been on radio. Yeah. And it's going to be a long time before you. I mean, they got some good entertainment. Prince was bad, too. But it wasn't nobody like Elvis. I keep repeating that. And Michael Jackson. Yeah. All right.
You want to... maybe do a song.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
You gonna play a song for us?
Yeah, what you want to hear?
What do you want to play?
You want an instrumental or you want to sing?
I want to sing. We want to hear you singing.
The volume's down and...
I see trees of green, I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and the bright blessed day, dark sacred night, and I think to myself, wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They all say, I love you. I hear babies crying. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, I think to myself, what a wonderful, what a wonderful, what a wonderful, what a wonderful, what a oh yeah.
Awesome! Yeah. All right, great stuff, Classie. You cross paths with some of the who's who of the music industry, as I understand, such as Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, Bo Diddley. What stands out in your memory about that?
Well, I was working at this famous black club in Little Rock, Arkansas. It was called the Flamingo Club. And you know, I ain't trying to be racist, nothing. You know, blacks couldn't stay in white hotels and
couldn't drink from the same fountains and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah. And they had an auditorium. It was kind of like the Civic Center, and they would rent the auditorium to blacks for them to do their concerts and everything, and that was it. But the staying part, the guy, like I said, he had the finest black club in Central Texas and the hotel upstairs. And his name was Kingfish, and his wife's name was Amy. And I was on the road with back then with Roscoe Garden, Chuck Berry, and Big Joe Turner. Y'all remember Big Joe Turner?
Yeah.
Shake, rattle, and roll.
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't trying to be funny. Big Joe Turner was like a white man like you too.
Good looking.
and he was uneducated, but he kept he kept a brand new Cadillac and always wore tux. And I used to drive for him. He would pay me extra to read the map for him, and he kept cases of scotch. But he put it way in the front part of his trunk, and he covered up with his tuxedos. So we was on our.
That's what I do.
Really? So we was on our way to Meridian one time. I know I'm getting off track. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, well, just bring it back around.
Oh, you go ahead. Well, let me get to the point then. I know I'm going around in circles. So yeah, turn that off. So anyhow, so the owner said, he said, we had a 2 weeks layout. We was on our way to the Apollo Theater. So,
in New York City?
Yeah.
In Harlem?
And I never made the Apollo because of the Little Rock.
Yeah.
I got head off because...
So you never played at the Apollo?
And I never played the Apollo. Like I said, I don't make up things.
You got close.
I tell it like it is. Yeah, I was on... We was on.
You were on your way.
I was on our way, and the guy at that famous club in Little Rock heard me. He said, "Man, you got a great band." Back then, man, we was dressed in tuxedos and everything, and we was hot. And back then, man, we wasn't really playing no blues. You know, I'm talking really blues. My band, we was playing like "Fly Me to the Moon," "Nearness of You," "Misty," and all that. You know, and believe it or not, later on, I always had a good ear for music, and I had music, a music stand. I had a trumpet player. he was my director. He used to write my charts for my horn. I had 4 horns, man. We was hot, and man, I be reading. I knew my chords, but I couldn't read no notes back then. And finally, I decided to take up. That's kind of a little story. I decided to take up music, and I used to teach at MCC. I'm a guitar instructor also.
Yeah.
That's come I can play all them big heavy chords you hear on A Wonderful World and all that. Yeah. But anyhow, I'm getting off track. So the owner said, man, he said, oh, he said, I love that band. He said, man, he said, I want you to be my husband. I said, man, Roscoe and them go kill me. I said, we're on our way to the Apollo. He said, man, he said, come in my office tomorrow, man. I want to talk to you. I said, okay. He said, them tuxedos you got to. He said, man, I like them tuxedos because he had the finest club and cleanest club. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, if you be my husband, he said, where you get them? Because I had an account with a company out of New York. All I do make a call because that's what I ain't bragging. That's how I got such a good reputation because I'll be honest, I pay people. I don't believe in that old crooked business and everything. The guy trusted me. I ought to set a uniform for my band. I could send him the money later. He knew who was going to get paid, the guy I was dealing with out of New York. So to make a long story short, so he said, man, he said, I want to, I said, man, he said, I'll tell you what. He said, I'll furnish the tuxedos and I'll give y'all a room free, each one of your band, and give you 3 meals a day. So I said, what kind of money are we talking about? He said, I do 5 nights a week. You know, back then, if you had a good band, you could stay at a club 2, 3, 4, 5 years back in the days. I've seen bands stay, but anyhow, I stayed 3 years. So, but anyhow, so I said, what kind of money are we talking? He said, man, I'll give y'all $1,600 a week. You know, that was big money back then.
What year was this?
This was in 50.
Late 50s.
No, well, because it was in the 60s when I got over there.
Yeah.
And man, the band said, F Roscoe. Said, take it, Classie, take it, man. Man, we jumped from, they had another famous black club in Houston called the Continental Club.
Yeah.
You heard the Continental Club?
I've been
yeah. I'm getting off. I've did Bobby Blue Bland there, little Junior Parker, Joe Hinton. Yeah, hello now. You remember he had a beautiful voice. But anyhow, we jumped from that to go to Bluefield, West Virginia for one job. And then we had to leave from Bluefield, West Virginia to go to Chicago to make one job. And man, we was getting tired of them long trips like that, man. And back then, the musician side men, they wasn't making about 15, 16, 50. We had a union. That was union scale back then. Sure. Well, I was the leader.
You weren't making Waco scale.
I was making 250 because I was the leader.
You wasn't making Louisiana scale.
Hell no, man. I was making 1,000 or 2,000 at ASU back then. I'm talking about, that's the kind of money I was Classie Blues make because I was like a Elvis Presley. And
Michael Jackson, huh?
Everybody in my band had a new car back then in Lake Charles. Because, you know, back then, you could buy a new car for about, what?
Couple $1,000.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Bobby Bland was paying $17.50 a night. Fats Domino was paying $35 a night.
So you were the house band for a lot of...
I'm paying $60 and $75 a night. Because
so Classie, you guys were the house band for a lot of acts that were moving through the circuit, right?
Yeah.
Including Jackie Wilson.
Right, yeah.
And, Bobby Blue Bland.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, other words, they would just come through because they had their own band. You know, I wouldn't back them up. They wouldn't work as singers because, like I said, they had to stay at the hotel, you know, after they do that show. So, Bo Diddley traveling in a long black hearse, 59 Cadillac with them big wings.
A hearse?
A hearse. You know, he was weird, man.
Well, you can carry a lot of gear in a hearse.
Yeah, and guess who else came on my bandstand? And I didn't know he lived there. The original Goose Tatum used to live in Little Rock. Did y'all know that?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until he came on the stage one night. Man, he had 2 pockets full of money. He said, hey, he said, let me get here and just let me act a clown. He said, I'll give you and your band $40 a piece. I said, come on up here, sir. I mean, man, he had 2 big pockets full of money, nothing but hundreds and 20s. And
so, Classie, how long did you have that gig in Little Rock?
I stayed there. I had 2 kids was born over there. I had one was born in 60, one was born in 61. I was like a Michael Jackson over there. 5 nights a week, it was like Bobby Bland was there or Jackie Wilson. And so they hired a manager because the guy, he had a little gambling shack back in the kitchen where because he was making money all kind of ways. He was a gambler too, had a little shack by this year, and they were gambling in the kitchen. So they hired this guy from Chicago, and come to find out, his wife and that guy used to go to school together. There's a big school called Horace Mann in Little Rock. You know, kind of like Richfield, one of the big high school. Yeah. And they used to go to school over there, and they were sweethearts. So man, he decided he was gonna come in the kitchen and and get him to take a little break from his gambling shack, and he caught them kissing New Year's Eve night. He went berserk.
Shot him dead.
Shit, he pulled that gun out, man. Everybody, ever since then, they started getting along. One night he pulled the gun out on her. We thought he was the band said, "Classie, we got to get out of here." So I had a trombone. Like I said, I had a tight band. I had 4 horns. I had trombone, baritone, tenor, and alto. So the trombone player, I'm gonna show you how green it was. He was from Waco. He said, "Classie," he said, "my hometown, they got a club called Walker's Auditorium." He said, "You could clean up with that band you got." Now, let me show you how green it was. I said, "Why is Waco?" I didn't know about
Well, it wasn't in the news
I didn't know nothing about no Waco 29, 30 ways back then. So he said, "I'm going to call my mom, and I'm going to tell my mom to get the number from Mr. Walker, and then you can negotiate with him." I said, Mr. Walker had a big voice like Barry White. "You got to come down here, let me see what you got." He said, "I heard you had a good band." He said, "I got to find this black club in Central Texas," in which he did, because he was the Michael Jackson. Walker's, man. They even told me Woody Herman and Count Basie came there. And I opened up for Red Fox before he made TV.
No kidding.
He had a little old mic smaller than this. Well, I had a little mic back then. We didn't have no big sound. You remember the big old horns you used to put?
Oh yeah.
Even Bobby Bland used to use that. I can't say what he said. Is it on?
You can say whatever you want to, man. This is on the internet.
It's not.
You can say whatever you want to say.
It's on the internet, so you can even cuss.
So we might get a story that WCCC TV is not going to get.
That little mic was like this here. So I introduced Red Fox. He came on the bandstand. He said, "Shit, my dick is bigger than this."
You had Red Fox there?
Whoa. The original Red Fox. I mean, but that was before he made it on TV, That's a true story, man. Like I said,
I don't started having heart attacks.
Yeah, I don't make up things, you know. So anyhow, to make a long story short, so I'm jumping the gun. So Mr. Walker, he had a band. We got you on a Wednesday night from Little Rock, Arkansas, about 10:30 that night. And they had a big old dude called Bobby Bradshaw. He did.
Big Bobby Bradshaw.
You remember him?
No.
But you heard about it, huh?
Yeah. You told me about it.
Yeah. And he weighed about 400 pounds. But the band was weak, So Mr. Walker said, he told him, "Y'all took a break." He said, "Let me see what this band from Arkansas can do." He said, "Y'all get up there, let me." And like I said, I had a hot band. I had 4 horns. I picked out my 3 hot swords. He said, "Hop!" I look at the band. I said, "Man, this man don't like us, man." Everybody said, "Class, I think we got to go back to Little Rock, man, back to that club was playing that." He told everybody, said, "Get your stuff off the bandstand. Y'all are fired." And man, you just don't come take nobody, man. Them guys was mad, man. And so anyhow, he had a little hotel right behind.
So did you ever encounter Big Bobby Bradshaw again? Did you ever see him?
Oh yeah, man. We talked. We was friends. Okay, he said, "Man, I understand."
So he didn't hold it against you.
No, he didn't hold it against me. But he was a big old dude. He been dead though, because he weighed about 450 pounds, Well, he was, man. I mean, he could barely. If he come through that door, he would just barely. That's
fit.
how big he was.
But he was good.
He was the star of the band. He was good. He could sing. He had a great voice.
So Walker's Auditorium brought you to Waco, but then you left for a little while. And did some more touring.
I left for a little while, and with that hot band, I decided I was going to go. You know, back then everybody wanted to go to California, so I said I'm gonna go to California. And my tenor player, he was from Dallas. He had a brother live in San Diego, another famous black club over there. They had a hot band too at a club. Y'all know what Front Street in San Diego is? The most popular street over there.
Never been there, but
okay, it's kind of like Waco Drive. It's a real popular. So they had a famous black club. Had a big dude over there too. He could sing. He was good. So
you guys were playing was this like the Chitlin circuit or what is it?
Yeah, I guess you could say that too. Well, at Walker's, but Walker made me the house band. I didn't get to tell you the tour. He said, I want a contract with you. And man, he put me on the contract for 6 nights a week. So
you're playing that
same thing. So my wife, I was like Flamingo. I was packed. Man, cars lined up all the way down on Waco Drive for churches.
Yeah.
To come see, and you know while Walker was sitting in that corner, that's the kind of crowd I was drawing over there. 4 nights a week, and then he had me playing at the Dewdrop Inn. Him and his buddy was a guy named DV at the Dewdrop Inn. They used to gamble together.
I heard they had good ribs.
Best ribs.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, and Leslie's had the best liver and gizzard. You remember Leslie's chicken?
Yeah, I heard about it before I moved here.
Oh, yeah.
People still talk about Leslie's.
Yeah.
As being the best chicken place. Somebody who's smart ought to open up a Leslie's Chicken at that old original place with the old original signage.
With the original recipe.
Original recipes
right,
that make a killing.
Right, yeah. It ribs, the only guy that's kind of close is the one on 25th. Y'all know what, he got a little store. His
I've eaten that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. His rib is pretty
Franklin.
good.
Or, no, wait.
No, it's on 25th and 25th and Basket, right?
Well, barbecue's on another show. So
yeah, he do barbecue too. Yeah, but anyhow.
So you did a little stint with Buckwheat Zydeco? Is that true?
Huh?
Did you play with Buckwheat Zydeco?
I made shows with him. Yeah.
You did shows with him?
Yeah. Well, you know he came here.
He came here. He came to
Johnson
Waco.
Brought him here on Brazos Night one time.
Right.
Well, if you don't remember, I was sitting in front of you at that show, and I turned around.
I know that bald head looked familiar.
And then,
I remember you. I'm not good on face. I kept looking at you.
I went and got on stage with Robert Randolph. Remember him play guitar?
Yeah.
Now you remember.
He was bad, man. Randy is bad.
Before the show, I talked to you.
Yeah. I do.
But you were telling me that.
I like I said, I'm not good on names, but I don't forget face. I kept looking at you. I said, I've seen that man. I mean, I'm not good on names.
No. We talked about Buckwheat.
Yeah.
You told me that you'd played with, because Clifton Chenier.
Well, Clifton, Clifton, he was the icon of Zydeco.
Sure.
With the accordion. Boozoo started off with the single note, and then Clifton came up with the piano note.
Right.
Ooh, he was a monster.
And then,
in fact, Etta James is the one that gave him his break.
Sure.
Etta James heard him when she got popular. She had him to open up for
Clifton
her.
was. Clifton's
and she the one took him all to California, everywhere, and she the one that got him exposed. Really, to Clifton, because he was bad, Yeah, she got him all over California.
You and your wife were sitting right behind me and my friend.
Yeah, I remember that, man. The more I look at you, like I said, I kept looking. I said, I've seen that guy somewhere.
Dave has a face.
I'm not good on names, but I don't forget faces.
Dave has a face you can't forget.
I hear you. You too. If you don't cut that beard, I remember you if I see you Wang Chang China 10 years from now. I remember you.
So Classie, do you see blues as a viable music style, or have you resigned yourself to seeing it fade away like jazz and swing music of the 20s?
Man, I'm labeled as a blues man, but I can play anything except symphony. I play it all. I do it all. Like you can see, I play ballads. I do country. I do classic rock. I do Hey Baby Keep a Soul.
Yeah, you do it all.
Spanish music. I do it all, man. I can play. I do it all.
Most recently, you've been playing some retirement homes, doing a retirement home tour.
Yeah,
so to speak.
I do that because you know why I do retirements. sinners. I'm a Catholic, and I used to belong to St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Belmead, and they had a young priest. He was a good friend of ours. In fact, he loved the gumbo. My wife make you lick your finger on gumbo.
Oh, I'd love some. You should have brought us some gumbo, man.
And he used to come to my house and eat gumbo. He was a priest back then. And one Sunday, he stood up. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what Jesus at all time?" He stood about 5 minutes, just stood there for a minute. He said, "Jesus is in the retirement center." When he said that hit me. I said, "Jesus, give me this wonderful gift I have. I'm going to start playing." I've been playing retirement centers ever since then. And now I done become like a Michael Jackson. I start from the atrium all the way across to Hewitt. And then I turn, they want me in Longview. They want me in Mesquite. Nice. You know some of them got, it's something about them ladies that works there.
The nurses?
Not the nurses, the
caretakers?
No, not the caretakers. I don't went blank there.
The people that cook the food?
No, the one that's in the head of them.
Oh yeah, the administrators.
Oh,
the director.
Not director either is another name for them. But anyhow, it's some reason that they don't hold them jobs long. I mean, I don't know. It's none of my business, you know. Yeah, well, you're right. The activity director. Yeah. It's something about
the ones that book you.
Yeah, they don't hold them jobs long. I don't know why. They got a little feud with. I don't know, but everywhere I played, and like I said, even at St. Catherine and
you get those old people up out of their wheelchair and get them.
Yeah, well, I don't play like I play in the club, you know. I play like
when the saints come marching in.
Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. Oh, yeah.
Nice. That's great.
Classie,
your problems turn on your volume, dude. I'm not reaching for you.
We're gonna finish off with another song here in a second, but
Okay.
you know, looking back over your career, man, what a awesome life you've had, and the people you've met.
This is not even the beginning of it. There's so much more to it.
You just keep on
Spent a
going.
lot of time here in Waco, and,
Right.
and you're kind of like one of Waco's jewels that we have here.
I am the
Truly.
Michael Jackson Waco.
Right.
When I first came here, they had 2-3 bands. Now they got 1,000 of them trying to see what Classie Ballou doing.
Yeah.
But I'm still the man.
Yeah, you are the man. I've seen you play several times. You don't see me in the audience, but I've been there. And tell us about your family band, because you've got truly, like Robert Randolph had originally the family band.
Yeah, right.
But you truly have.
You probably were the first family band before Robert Randolph had his family band.
Well, maybe not the first, but you definitely propagated your musical talent.
Sit down. Can I sit up?
Sure, yeah, stand up.
Here, let's move this out. But you've definitely spilled your musical love onto further generations, like your son said, Rick,
Right,
and your grandkids.
Right. Yeah.
So,
right.
Tell us about that.
Well, bottom line, man, all through the years, I've had all kind of musicians, and it's a joy for me to play with my family, Yeah, because you know, like I said, you know, I was like Ike Turner. I wasn't crazy like Ike. I wasn't beating my wife and all that, but I didn't play. I'm strictly business. I will find you. I will fire you in a minute. I didn't play. You know, I don't, because this is my living, man. You know, yeah, and I don't play. So with my band, they know how daddy is. So I don't have to have no rule sheet. Because when I hired you. Before I hired you,
they know how to behave.
I said, "Here's my rule sheet, sir. Can you read it?
Oh.
Read it." I said, "Read it." Before, well, man, I want to play with you. I said, "Read it." I said, "Can you go by them rules?" "Oh, yes, sir." I said, "Okay." I said, "You better go," because I said, "If not," I said, "what that rule sheet say?" I said, "I will fine you or fire you in a minute." Because I even fired my youngest son, and he just had bought a new home out in Houston, was Chelsea Street. My wife said, "Classie, what he gonna do? How he gonna make payments?" I said, "He should have thought what he done before."
So what are some of those rules on your rule sheet?
I don't play, man. You know.
What are some of those rules on your rule sheet? Just curious.
No drinking on the bandstand. No smoking on the bandstand. Don't be late for my rehearsal. I used to rehearse all the time. Don't be late coming on the bandstand. I don't care who, if you're talking to your mama or your daddy. When I say let's go.
When it's time to go, it's time to go.
Let's go. That's right. That's right. I had some stiff rules. And that uniform that I don't see no ring around that collar, who was wearing tuxedos, you get fined for that. James Brown fined, you know, that lady with him, stayed with him for 30 years. She had a little wrinkle in her gown, just like that shirt right here. He fined her $30. She said, "James, what you go? I've been working." You should have took it to the cleaners. She said, "I've been working all these years." He said, you know my rule. Hit me." James didn't play. He was the same way. Y'all saw his bio. He was cold.
Oh yeah.
He would fire you in a minute, and you know. I mean, I'm not no bad fella, man. But I mean, this is a business. You understand what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's a business.
It's like a job. You got to show up on time. You got to play by the rules.
I told my wife I'll fire her if she. No, I'm just kidding.
That's good.
But this is a business with me, man. You know, I laugh and grin. Everybody can't believe that I'm so, but it's a business. You know?
Exactly right. Well,
but I believe in living a happy life. I don't be walking around like a pit bull or a German Shepherd. What good it gonna do? It ain't gonna make. I believe in living a happy life, man. What good it gonna do? You understand what I'm talking about? They say, "Y'all was smile. Don't you ever get angry?" I said, "What good it gonna do?" I see people be walking around here like a pit bull or a German Shepherd, like the man at the world.
Go to Walmart, you'll see that all day long.
It ain't gonna pay your bills or make it no difference.
Hey, anytime I want to feel better about myself, I just go to Walmart for a couple of minutes and walk around.
All right.
Man, I got it made. I'm not in Walmart in my pajamas. I'm doing all right.
Well, hey, he's here in the shed in his pajamas, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Hey, man, tonight's been a good night in the shed. It's not too hot. We're sweating a little bit, but we've dealt with some hot nights here in the shed.
Really?
And mosquitoes and ants and all kinds of stuff.
Well, I'm sure glad you wait till October to call me.
That's right. That's right.
Because it's always start getting cool around October. Right. I've been on the radio for this long already.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here, and we definitely want to hear you close us out with a song. So what are you going to play, Classie?
Oh, man, what you want to hear? I don't know.
Let's do some blues. Let's do some blues songs. I want to hear some blues, man.
Blues,
we like the blues.
Oh, Lordy. Okay. They call it Stormy Monday. Tuesday's just as bad. They call it Stormy Monday. Tuesday's just as bad. Sunday's worse. Lord, I get on my knees and pray. The eagle flies on Friday. Saturday I go out to play. Yeah, the eagle flies on Friday. Saturday, I go out to play. Sunday, I go to church. Yes, I do. Lord, get on my knees and pray. I said, Lord, 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 have mercy. Lord, have mercy on me. I said, Lord, 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 have mercy. Lord, have mercy on me. I've been looking for my baby. Want somebody, please, please send her home to me. Oh yeah.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Classie Ballou in the shed. If you want to check out where he's playing, go to ClassieBallou.com. Thanks for being here, Classie.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Classie.
All right, thank you. All right. Okay.
It's gonna be good.
All right.
Let me give you a couple cards to.
Before we leave, we need you to say one thing for us.
Yeah, baby. Is that it?
That's it. Thanks, Classie.
All right.
Thanks, Classie.